Hey guys, so this is a very important point I wanted to discuss, and we often try to understand whatever is happening around us. We try to model a lot of things, a lot of phenomena that we see around us, but we often forget to ask this question: that what is actually objectively truth, and what is subjective truth? Because, for instance, I'm not saying that subjective truths are useless. I mean, it's obviously a worthwhile goal to study and understand, try to understand subjective truths as well. But this distinction between objectivity and subjectivity is often a bad thing, but it's also often an important and good thing, depending on the context, in my opinion. For instance, if you're standing in front of a steep, let's say a steep path, steep mountain or something, if you're just standing in front of it, and then you're standing in front of the same mountain, but with a very heavy backpack, so you will perceive the mountain to be steeper than it really is, although it's the same mountain in both the cases, because your brain kind of thinks a few steps forward, and your brain is already imagining that you are climbing the mountain with that heavy load on your back, and that's why you perceive it to be much more steeper than it really is, because that's not a very uh, comfortable journey, climbing a mountain with a huge load on your back, right? So basically, that's what your brain does. Your brain has an internal model, and every time you look at the world and you perceive something through your sensory organs, your brain does not every time take in each and every tiny little detail. What it often does, and this is a way to you know get you through life in the most energy efficient manner possible. So what the brain does is it just whatever it sees, it just maps it with its internal model that it has already formed over the years, based on your experiences, and also based on some like basic human traits, genetics and stuff. And then it just matches its expectations with the reality, and if it matches, then that's fine. You don't need to analyze everything from scratch. If not, then the brain will modify its internal model based on this new experience. It's constantly learning in the way. But yeah, the point I wanted to emphasize in this video is it's useful sometimes to, at least either at the back of your mind, you should always ask this question, and you should have a clear idea that whatever you're trying to understand, whether it's an objective truth, or could it be just something which is subjectively truth, which appears true to humans. We perceive it that way, but maybe objectively it could have a very different explanation. Because when you're trying to model something, you're not really trying to explain it using first principles. You're trying to recreate the behavior and then maybe study and get some insights. But in modeling, the main question is, I don't think the main question is why. The main question is how. And of course, how can lead to why if you go deep enough. But yeah, I think you get my point. Thank you.